cars. We're lining up now. We're going we have three demands. Expand Medicaid to serve the people of Alabama who don't have insurance. Secondly, to highlight the issue that twice as many black people are dying from this as white people. And thirdly, to ask that the governor and others work to release non-violent prisoners and people who are in jail because they can't make bail, to reduce the number of people in the jails to really help prevent an expansion of this coronavirus in Alabama. We're going to drive from here. We're going to circle the Federal Building, downtown Montgomery 7 times. Then we're going to go to the state capitol. We're going to surround the state capitol 7 times. Of course, this is a kind of a biblical reference to the walls of Jericho falling after the people marched around 7 times. So it's a symbolic thing, but it's really to say to the governor of Alabama, before you do anything else, make sure everyone in this state can get health insurance. Make sure you deal with the special problems of black communities and really work hard to let those people out of prison who need to be let out of prison. So we're going to do this today. We're hoping to have 20 or more cars to join us. And we're just getting ready now.
Try to straighten this crazy governor out here so that we can get this Medicare and hospital and all of the things we need in our health system. That's why we're here. We're still on the case.
This is the vote of that time. If ever there was a vote of that time, it's a vote of that time. Because we failed to vote in great numbers a few years ago. King Trump came into power, and because he's in power, he has policies that are literally killing people. Suggesting that people take disinfect, denying, putting things on the Chinese and blaming the governors. He's blaming everybody but himself. But we have to blame ourselves if we don't rise to the occasion and fight, because this is a vote or die time. And if he's reelected, not only will we die from this disease, we will continue to die from the disease of white supremacy. Because one reason why we are dying in greater numbers is because white supremacy has never been killed in this country. It was here from the time we got on the slave ship, and it's still with us. And the reason why so many of our people are dying, because we have no understanding of the power of white supremacy. We have been lulled into believing that white people really care about us. Most white people don't care about us. And the problem is most of us don't care about ourselves. And until we learn our history, be true to who we are, and remember that God didn't create no inferior race. But we have come to believe that Jesus is white and we are an inferior race. And until we resist that evil thought, we will continue to die in greater numbers. And I'm so proud of the people here today, because we are riding for life. This is a ride for life. All lives. But clearly, it's time for us to stand up for black lives. Thank you.
We'll be doing 7 laps around the Capitol too. Well, Rose told him to obey all the time. They probably just doing what she said. You have to have guts to give those kind of instructions. Well, I'd rather for him to tell me than a Klansman come by and shoot me off the camera.
Oh, you won't do what is right, so we must protest and fight. Poison Ivy. Y'all afraid to sing? Poison Ivy, Poison Ivy. Oh, she won't do what is right, so we must protest and fight. Fight on!
Who's gonna take your photos and then we leave here, right? All of us gotta die. Who's got your photos out you here working?
Oh, working out.
Look. Look. He got my photo.
Again, this is the Save Ourselves movement for justice and democracy. And this is what we call a life and death with the coronavirus. The Jericho walls, Caravan for Alabama Live. And it says Alabama must expand Medicaid. Alabama must provide safe workspaces. And Alabama, we must save Alabama Live.
That's right.
Now, so we will, I think we talked about releasing balloons. I want to make sure at what point that's to be done.
When the last speaker.
Okay. Now, there's one person's name that I do not have. We tried to get it, but we didn't get it. But he's here. We're going to have remarks from Frazier. We're going to have remarks from Janice Peterson, if she's still here. We're going to have remarks from John Zipper. We're going to have remarks from Martha Morgan. We're going to have remarks from Karen Jones, from Pastor Macmillan. And then we're going to give, just before he comes, we're going to see if there are others who want to have remarks. I have some brief remarks, but I'm going to hold them at this moment and say, Fire. And I'm going to put the mic down so I don't get too close to anybody, but I can get close to Fire because I slept in the bed with her last night.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
As I was encircling this place, I saw statues of hate. I saw statues of people who fought to destroy black lives. And I'm reminded that our lives still don't matter. Dr. Sims reminded us when he pictured black women without anesthesia that our lives don't matter. So we're here to tell the government today that look, our lives matter. All lives matter. But black people are dying at a greater rate. And if we don't stand up and fight for Medicaid, many more people will die of all races. There are women here who cannot get out of the car. There are women here from American Apparel. They walked off their job last Friday because a person in the company had the virus. They did not tell the employees, and only when they walked off of the job did they say, we are going to make it clean. But it was never clean. They only cleaned up the offices of white men and managers. We have to stand behind our workers, even though some of them may have insurance. Many of them have children at home with breath disorders. So my sign says, no safety, no work. Our workers' lives matter. And I'm pleading for some legal team to come and help me file a lawsuit against the state of Alabama.
Yes!
Because they are being forced to work in these factories that are unsafe, where people are dying, and the Unemployment Compensation Act does not allow them to leave those jobs for good cause. It is good cause to leave a job where you are forced to work at minimum wages to make sure that other people are safe. So I'm saying, let's stand together with our workers. Let me stand together with our workers. The lives of our workers matter. Let's stand for the workers and let's bring that lawsuit so they can leave those jobs until those jobs are safe, and they can collect that unemployment plus that $600 a week, which is much more than they're making now. So what? Medicaid expansion, but the workers' lives matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Vigorously to this. The third reason we're here is that we're asking the governor
and local county officials to release people from jail.
That's right.
Release people from jail
That's right.
who are non-violent criminals, people who are in jail because they couldn't meet the bail requirements, and elderly prisoners. It's time to release these prisoners before the jails contribute to their unfortunate death because of this virus. And the fourth reason, which Faya mentioned, is that working people in this state need to have tests and need to have contact tracing and need to have a safe workplace.
That's right. That's right.
And I just want to say in closing that rural hospitals were already in danger in this state of closing. And rural hospitals were already in danger. 17 rural hospitals in Alabama have closed since the turn of the century. One closed in Pickens County the week before the coronavirus attack. So if we want to keep our rural hospitals, and frankly, if we want to keep any of the hospitals in this state, we need to start working now to expand Medicaid for all the people in the state. Thank you very much.
The issue I want to address is the one of people in jails and prisons, and John has spoken to that. I won't say much more, but I would say that even here in Montgomery, we have found that in the city jail here, there are very serious problems. Reports of people being arrested simply for failure to appear on a traffic ticket, and their life at risk because there's not the spacing possible, distancing, there's not the gloves and sanitary equipment necessary to protect lives, and these are for very minor offenses. This is just crazy. I'll leave it at that. There'll be more about that issue coming out soon. And
Joshua led the children of Israel around Jericho 7 times, and they blew the horn, and the walls came tumbling down. Well, we're going to send a message today from Alabama. We're going to march and continue to march and drive around the State House, the Federal Building, until the walls of resistance against the expansion of Medicaid come down. We're going to march until the walls of resistance in terms of providing more testing in the black community. We're going to march until that wall come tumbling down. That is why we send a message today from the state capital of Alabama that we will not be satisfied until the federal government, because we can't seem to get the state government to take us serious. While Trump is tweeting and talking in the White House, more black people are dying from the coronavirus than any other population. We cannot be satisfied, and we need to keep marching around the state capitol, the federal building, until the walls of resistance come tumbling down. This is a war against this coronavirus. That is why we need to activate the National Guard, open up those National Guard buildings in our communities, get the troopers who have medical personnel into those buildings, and take the testing to the community. Black folk can't afford to go to the testing. Many of them are afraid to go to the doctor. We need to take the testing where the people are. And so we need to activate the National Guard while this is a war. And I want to say to you today, children, keep on marching, keep on walking. We're going to keep on marching and we're going to keep on fighting until the walls of resistance come tumbling down.
All right. All right. Thank you, man.
Karen Jones, Montgomery, Alabama, SOS. I'm on the Direct Action Committee, the Health Committee, Education Committee, and I'm also the co-county chair for the Poor People's Campaign. Today we understand that Poison Ivy has opened the beaches.
Come on, tell it like it is.
Now, one thing we do know, I guarantee as we rode around, we see state workers, we see construction workers without protective equipment. I guarantee you Poison Ivy, that's Governor Kay Ivey's housekeepers, have on gloves, masks, scrubs, boots, but she doesn't care about anybody else. A rural hospital in her hometown of Camden is closed. The difference when I was looking at live, I'm trying to convey the message to young black people. You can cut hair at your house because you will sanitize one at a time. That's what most are saying they're doing. But if you open up salons, and you open up barbershops, when are they going to disinfect? When they open up Hyundai, they're working on a line. They're not separated 6 feet apart. Today is the 79th anniversary of the Supreme Court ruling for separate and equal. So the facilities like Hyundai, the front offices are being disinfected. Are they disinfecting after every shift? Are they taking temperatures? What are they doing to protect the employees? It is my understanding that they told the employees not to file for unemployment since they've been off since last March 18th, that they'll do it. Where's the protection for the workers? Where's the protection for the workers? Black people are dying twice as fast as any other race, and I see more black people without protective gear on. Are your things in order? My cousin died 2 weeks ago. Friend in the hospital right now. This is serious. If you don't care about your life, care about other people's lives. Glove up, mask up, even if you have to wear a sock on your face. This is real. This is real. Kay Ivey, shut Alabama down until more testing. Release low-level inmates. Mayor Reed, make sure that city jail is disinfected and do not put a moratorium on traffic tickets. Please relay that to Hangum Hayes, Judge Westry, Judge Ford. Release inmates. Why are you locking them up for tickets when nobody is working and unemployment isn't being given to people? And the Small Business Association has not processed any loans from Alabama. That was in a report. You know that means black businesses aren't getting anything. This is real, people. Mask up, glove up. Black Lives Matter. Poison Ivy. Open up the rural hospitals and shut down these state buildings unless you have a new standard of operating procedures for these disinfecting these buildings. Thank you.
Even though they walked off their jobs in Selma, they have children, they have families. They're afraid if they don't go back to work, they will be fired. They've been told they would be fired. These women were called cows on their job. And I think of Dr. Sims, who treated our women like cows. So we got to stand behind these workers. I want you to know they were here. They did not get out of their cars. One made a statement and she stands by it. She has a child with bronchitis. She does not want to take that disease home to our children. Again, we need a lawsuit to protect these women. They have a right to unemployment compensation for just cause. It is just cause not to go into a factory where you can literally die. And I want to, before we do something very serious with the releasing of the balloons to honor those who died, and you notice they're 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, because in some places for every 1 white person that dies, there are 2 black. In some places there are 3 and 4 blacks. So the pastor will come and release these balloons. But I wrote this little, huh? Oh, not now? Okay. While I was encircling the building, I wrote this little poem, and I just want to share it with you quickly. Ivy, Ivy, how does your love grow? Ivy, Ivy, how does your love grow? For the least of these who are dying from this horrible disease, on their jobs, behind bars. Ivy, Ivy, how does your love flow? For the least of these, I beg you please expand Medicaid, save lives. Remember, Ivy, you once had cancer, but you survived. Yes, don't believe Trump's lies. Ivy, Ivy, please stop the killing, stop the murder, the dying of this disease. Expand Medicaid and soul, and put your soul at ease. Amen.
Right. We call this the Jericho wall caravan. And I can imagine that when Joshua told those people, let's walk around these walls 7 times. Let's shout as we walk. Let's blow horns as we walk. And then these walls will come tumbling down. I know that there are people saying this press conference, this driving around will not do any good. But I'm sure that was said thousands of years ago when Joshua was walking, was marching around the walls of Jericho. And I think that it's so important that we continue to find ways to manifest our determination. And whatever it takes to bring down the walls that prevent Medicaid, we need to do it.
That's right.
Whatever it takes to make sure that resources are directed to those most in danger, whether they are black, whether they're on the front line, whether they're in nursing home, then we're going to have to do it. These walls, they look strong and powerful because they are. But strong and powerful walls have fallen before. They fell in 1964. They fell in 1965. And they can fall in 2020.
That's right.
I want to bring on Pastor McMillan.
Thank you, Senator. Pastor Clifton McMillan. I'm part of the SOS, also representing the National Action Network of Alabama, under the leadership of Sheila Tyson and, of course, Reverend Al Sharpton, as well as the PJC, People's Justice Council. Today we've come because it's a God issue when human beings are dying. Because we're created in the image of God, we're God's children, and health care is a right. It shouldn't be something that you have to get on the state capitol steps and beg for. The state's gonna pay anyway. Either they expand Medicare or not, they're gonna pay. Because everyone that doesn't have a job, everyone that's black, everyone that's poor, is still gonna pay. But the difference is, are you gonna use federal dollars? Or are you gonna use state dollars? I don't know what common sense is all about anymore, but I hope and pray that this administration gets some common sense. Because God is not pleased. We talk about God, but God cares about the least of these. The last, the lonely, the left behind, the incarcerated, the suffering, the weak and the weary. God cares. But y'all don't care. So today we come together, not only acknowledging those that have died because of the coronavirus, those that are infected, those that are affected, and particularly those that will be infected or affected. I appreciate the fact that all of us are here, my brothers from the mosque as well as everyone else that's here today, because this is about the whole community. It's about everybody. And so as we prepare to release these balloons in a moment, these are symbolic of thousands and thousands of lives. Yes. These are symbolic of funerals that didn't have to take place. That's right. Come on with it. Mothers and fathers that didn't have to die. That's right. Children that left before their dreams were revealed and realized. These represent hope deferred, but I'm so glad it will not be denied. We've gone around these buildings 7 times. The walls must fall. The walls must fall. The walls must fall. For unless these walls fall, we're going to have to progressively keep on riding, keep on marching, and whatever it takes, whatever it takes, that justice and righteousness can be manifested in Alabama, it will be done.
That's right.
Eternal God, creator of us all, we pause acknowledging that we are asking you to tear these walls down. And as we look at these balloons representing the inequities of living and dying, we ask you now, Lord, move in behalf of righteousness and justice upon which your foundation rests. And we will glorify you. Amen. I want to invite you now, those that have your balloons. After I open my fingers, if you count to 3, we want to release our balloons today. Acknowledging those lives that have been lost. Acknowledging those that we don't want to lose. And recognizing this too must pass. Amen. We did ask our brothers to speak. They're just honoring the instructions given.
We just thank God for each and every one that pressed their way out to come out in this perilous time that we're living in right now. We're confronted with it. We thank God for the families that's going through this trying time of bereavement. As we prepare to leave this place, Father, we just thank you. We thank you for your people, God. We thank you, God, for bringing us together in a oneness, God. You said when the day of Pentecost will fully come, we were all on one accord in one place. And we thank you for having us in one place this day, God. We pray that even now, God, that you will stretch forth your mighty hand, God. And God, just like your manservant said, just Joshua, oh God, when he marched around Jericho for 7 days, 7 times, on the 7th day, they marched around 7 times. God, we believe right there by faith that we have completed this journey, that this is the 7th time on the 7th day. And God, we're expecting something to happen before we could even get back to our homes, oh God. Oh God, you're a miracle worker, God. Oh Father, stretch forth your hand this day in this state of Alabama, on these steps of the Capitol, God. Stretch it forth today, God. Touch those in high places, oh God. We thank you for deliverance, oh God. Thank you for your finished work right now being manifested in us. And we give you all the praise and all honor and all glory. We thank you this day. Praise God.
All right, amen.
Thank you.